Hello and welcome to Lost Love Chronicles. Your apologies are of no use now. I have made up my mind. It's over. Today we have a story of a cheating wife who gets caught and is now looking for her way back to her husband. Will ye take her back? Dear listeners, we have crossed 1,600 subscribers and are now racing towards our first 2,000. Your one click to subscribe us would go a long way for us. Thanking you in advance. Now let's start with the story. I never thought I would find myself in this situation, betrayed, detached, and struggling to make sense of it all. My wife, Kathy, and I had what I thought was a solid foundation, built on 7 years of friendship, 2 years of dating, and 5 years of marriage. Yet, as I delved into the depths of an old laptop in search of cherished memories, I stumbled upon a revelation that shattered my world. The laptop, a relic from our early days, held more than just innocent pictures of us smiling and laughing. It harbored a past I was oblivious to, a past involving Gordon, a name etched into my memory as Kathy's ex. As I sifted through images of them cuddling and kissing, I couldn't ignore the crushing weight of the locket around her neck, a birthday present I had given her during our second year of dating. My initial excitement at the prospect of reliving our early days turned into a painful journey through the remnants of Kathy's past. The pictures, once a source of joy, became a haunting reel of her life before me. The boundaries between her history with Gordon and our shared moments were blurred, leaving me grappling with a sense of betrayal and confusion. The discovery left me feeling hollow, devoid of the emotions that once bound us together. It's a strange and unsettling numbness, a defense mechanism, perhaps, shielding me from the raw pain of betrayal. I find myself questioning the authenticity of our connection, wondering if the foundation of trust one believed in was nothing more than an illusion. As I confront this emotional void, I realize the need for professional guidance. Therapy seems like a lifeline, a way to navigate the tumultuous sea of emotions that threaten to engulf me. The detachment I feel scares me, but I know that facing these emotions head-on is crucial for my own healing. The journey ahead is uncertain, and the path to rebuilding trust will be arduous. Yet, in the face of this emotional storm, I must find a way to reclaim my sense of self and, eventually, decide the fate of a relationship that now stands on shaky ground. 2 days have passed since the world I knew crumbled around me. I stumbled upon the truth, Kathy's secret meetings with her ex, Gordon, during the very times I believed she sought solace at her mother's or sister's. The fire of betrayal surged through me, an agonizing swarm of emotions chewing at my insides. The laptop's revelation was a punch to the gut, and fury coursed through my veins. Fueled by a mixture of anger and despair, I borrowed money from my brother to buy some semblance of control. The dates on those pictures told a damning story, clandestine rendezvous behind my back during the moments I was consumed by my studies. The laptop became a painful archive, exposing a reality I never fathomed. It was too much to bear. In a fit of cold, analytical detachment, I copied every picture to a flash drive, packed a bag, and left. I chose the solace of my brother's home, leaving the laptop behind with a damning image on the monitor and a cryptic arrow on a sticky note pointing to the locket around her neck. Kathy's attempts to reach me were in vain. I shut myself off from her desperate voicemails and texts. The decision to consult a family law associate marked the beginning of the end. The firm rallied around me, shielding me from her attempts to reconcile. Security barred her entry, and my brother stood guard with a fierce warning. Even when she tracked me down, pleading and sobbing over the phone, I felt nothing. No sadness, no happiness, just an eerie void where emotions once existed. The marriage was over, and I accepted it. Yet, the absence of feelings for her, the lack of desire to ever see her again, scares me. Is this numbness a transient shock, or am I irrevocably broken? I've never been more clear-headed in my professional life, but the emptiness within me is disconcerting. How long will this emotional void persist? The uncertainty is unnerving, and I grapple with the fear that I may never feel again. Deciding to explore individual counseling in the near future feels like the right move. The whole mess with Kathy, the betrayal, and the unraveling of our life together demand a level of emotional support I can't find on my own. Kim, the family law associate at my firm, has been a godsend in navigating this legal maze. Reviewing the flash drive of pictures with her revealed a truth that, strangely, brought more relief than pain. Kathy's intimate moments with Gordon, adorned with the engagement ring I gave her, only sparked an odd sense of satisfaction. When I questioned this reaction, Kim pointed out that it validates every decision I've made since packing my bags. There's no pain or anger, just an unexpected elation, a strange reassurance that my actions align with the reality I've uncovered. Kim, or Pitbull as we affectionately call her around the office, is handling the separation agreement and scheduling a meeting with Kathy. She made it clear that if Kathy isn't represented by legal counsel, I won't be attending. It's a strategic move to ensure a fair process, and I'm grateful to have her on my side. The divorce petition is looming, and Kim predicts minimal spousal support, a silver lining in this complicated situation. Dealing with the remaining months of the lease and the joint savings account presents its own set of challenges. The dual signature account, a precaution against fraud, is a blessing and a curse, limiting access but providing security. My sister-in-law's visit to our apartment, supposedly when Kathy was at her part-time job, turned into an unexpected listening session. Hearing Kathy out for a couple of hours brought a mix of emotions, but I'm determined to maintain boundaries and prioritize my own well-being. It's a strange feeling, witnessing Kathy weave a web of easily debunked lies while my sister-in-law packed up my belongings. Kathy's attempt to deflect responsibility by blaming some mysterious guy in my sister-in-law's background felt like a desperate grasp at excuses. According to her, this guy, Gordon, was a Jedi, and she was just weak-minded. It's a peculiar way to rationalize infidelity. Interestingly, my sister-in-law did answer Kathy's question about having a guy in her background who gets inside her head and can't be resisted. She married him. The support and connection I find with my brother's family have been a lifeline, preventing me from sinking into isolation. Spending time with my nephews, even if they're crushing me in video games, has become a source of joy amid the chaos. Surprisingly, work has become a refuge of sorts. The partner overseeing my department took a moment to commend me for not letting this personal ordeal negatively impact my professional life. It's a small victory, a reassurance that I can compartmentalize and focus on what needs to be done. As I navigate these tumultuous waters, the supportive responses from everyone who shared their experiences have been invaluable. Knowing that I'm not alone in facing the aftermath of infidelity and grappling with the strange apathy towards my soon-to-be ex-wife brings a measure of comfort. This journey is far from over, but the solidarity from those who've walked similar paths is a reminder that I can emerge from this stronger than before. Meeting with Kathy and her lawyer, Mike, at another firm turned out to be an eerie experience, with masks obscuring our faces due to the ongoing pandemic. Seeing Kathy for the first time since she left for her sister's/mother's house was a stark revelation. She looked like a shell of the person I once knew: bloodshot eyes, dark bags underneath, hides on her neck, and streaked makeup from tears. Strangely, though, looking at her elicited no emotional response from me at that moment. As soon as Kathy saw me, she launched into a torrent of apologies, declarations of love, and claims that everything was a mistake. The standard post-betrayal script. She tried to hug me, but Kim, my pit viper of a family law associate, inserted herself between us, reminding Mike that Kathy was not to speak directly to me or Kim. Kim instructed me to remain silent, or a blank expression, and surprisingly, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. The initial anger I anticipated didn't resurface. I remained numb, almost in a daze. Mike brought up the topic of reconciliation, but Kim promptly shut it down, emphasizing that we were there to review the separation agreement, nothing more. Kathy, undeterred, yelled about our 5-year marriage, pleading for another chance. Kim reminded Mike of the communication protocol, and after a whispered exchange, Kathy regained a semblance of composure. The discussion shifted to the separation agreement, with Mike attempting to nitpick details, perhaps to demonstrate his legal prowess. However, Kim systematically dismantled each argument until Mike conceded that the agreement was as fair as the law required. Kathy protested that none of it was fair, asserting that it was all a mistake. Kim then brought out the big guns, black and white printouts of pictures from the flash drive, vividly capturing Kathy with Gordon, engagement ring prominently displayed. Kim circled the ring in each picture with a bold red marker, emphasizing the undeniable evidence. In an alpha move, she questioned Mike repeatedly about whether his client believed these actions were a mistake. Kathy, unable to hold back her emotions, collapsed into an ugly cry. Kim and Mike continued their discussion on timelines for the settlement agreement, and it seemed my silent indifference was finally getting to Kathy. Out of nowhere, she screamed that she never cheated during the marriage. Unfazed, Kim challenged her to hand over her cell phone for verification. Kathy clutched it tightly, and Mike's whispered counsel seemed to confirm the gravity of her admission. The truth was unraveling, and it was evident that Kathy's attempt to salvage her narrative had backfired. The meeting with Kathy and Mike ended with more sobbing on Kathy's part. Behind my mask, I couldn't help but smile, saying nothing. It wasn't out of cruelty, rather, it was a reaction to the realization that every word out of her mouth would likely be a lie. There was no point in engaging with a narrative built on deception. Professional empathy crept in as I looked at Mike. I'd been in his shoes before, grappling with a losing case and a challenging client. It's a feeling of being the second-string goalie facing off against Wayne Gretzky, a battle where you just want the beating to end. Leaving without a word to Kathy seemed like the only option. What could she say that hadn't already been tainted by falsehoods? Kim received the signed separation agreement promptly, and surprisingly, the resolution regarding the rent was different from what I expected. Rather than being on the hook until June, we decided to equally divide the home down payment and savings account. It was a tactical move to expedite Kathy signing the agreement. She'll now be responsible for the rent and utilities starting this month. While Kathy may see it as a victory, it strategically eliminates the one significant asset we had. The best news, however, came in the form of a legal technicality. It turns out that our marriage, as of now, is 4 years and 7 months. In our state, if the marriage is less than 5 full years, family court typically considers rescission. This means putting us back in the financial position we were in before the marriage. In our case, it's immediately before the marriage. In essence, no alimony. Kim warned Mike that if he contests the divorce, the first person she'll depose is Gordon. However, Mike replied that Kathy agreed not to contest the divorce. If all goes well, 3 months from now, I'll be closing the chapter on this painful part of my life. Strangely, the numbness I feel toward Kathy no longer scares me. A Redditor's insight rings true: the Kathy I dated and married never existed. The person who cheated and lied is a stranger. Our entire relationship was an elaborate illusion, a plan B that ultimately benefited her at my expense. Perhaps my mindset, honed in commission sales, plays a role, knowing that you have to endure a lot of no's to get to a yes. Kathy was a no, and I've wasted enough time and effort on her already. It's time to move forward and find my yes. Dear listener, if you have reached this far, please click on the subscribe button. It will be a great help.